What's up, guys? This is the House from Gun Gamers, and I am here today with Garrett, and who's this guy?
I don't know how I got here.
Yeah, I don't know how he got here either, but you know what? He showed up bound and gagged in the back of my Volvo, so I figured that it was a good time to have him on video.
Oh boy.
But seriously.
My name is Lane, and I run the BB Warrior. It is an online video series that is aimed towards educational airsoft content to help players just like yourself have a better time both on and off the airsofting field through discussions, reviews, and fun stuff with these guys as well.
So you can see why we get along. Anyways, we had a discussion in the car down here, you know, as you do when you're delirious after 15 hours continuous of driving. But we had a discussion about a thing in the airsoft industry that isn't really a thing in some other industries. Well, rather the firearms industry. Why are airsoft handguns usually so much cheaper than rifles? Or why is there seem like a price cap for most airsoft guns until you get into like the custom end of the spectrum?
Yeah, so typically, you know, $200 for an airsoft handgun is kind of unheard of, except for one particular style of airsoft, which we'll talk about in a minute. But, you know, when you see that over 179 to 199 range, once you start going above that, people are really like, well, why am I spending this much money on an airsoft pistol? However, you know, when you go into real firearms, it's not really the case. Typically, they can be about the same price.
Yeah, when you're talking about real firearms, you buy an AR-15 for a pretty good AR-15 overall for $800 to $1,000, and there's plenty of handguns that occupy that $800 to $1,000 range. Now, granted, people are spoiled by Glocks, which can be had for, you know, $500 to $700 depending on the model, so they're still a little cheaper than some rifles. But there's plenty of handguns out there that are just as much money as rifles that are factory standard handguns. I mean, how much did you pay for your SIG P320 setup?
My P320, I think it was $750 with taxes and everything. So I mean, my AR, I have an $1,800 AR, but the same gun shop, you can buy an AR for $600, something like that.
Yeah, and then you pay like $50 for SIG magazines.
Yeah, $47 for those made in Italy mags.
Yeah.
But they're good. It's a fun gun.
Yeah. But that's the thing is, you know, you have that kind of, you know, middle ground offering on real handguns where, you know, you've got things like the High Point, you have cheaper end Glocks, and you have things like Taurus that are all kind of cheaper. Then you get into SIG, FN, and H&K that are a little bit higher end and a little more parity of price with rifles. And I feel like that's kind of a section of the market that is missing from airsoft.
Yeah, like
every airsoft gun is every airsoft handgun rather is kind of expected to cost $100 to $150.
Yeah, and I mean,
I think even at $150, I think people judge it already. They're like, ooh, that's a little much for me.
Well, yeah, I mean, like the Elite Force Glocks are what, $169.95?
Yeah, $170.
People scoff at that, and while, you know, they've only been out for like 2 weeks now, so we don't know how they're going to do long term.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird. But there, I mean, there are people who do, you know, these really high end pistol builds, especially with, you know, Speedsoft really gaining momentum.
But they're all high cap.
Yeah, the high cap for like the TM 5.1 Gold is about 190 or so, depending on where you go. And then they super upgrade it. Yeah. However, no company has really gone out of the way to make a out-of-the-box, a little bit more expensive pistol. Now, while it would be a really big risk, I'm sure that, you know, if there was justification for having a $300 pistol, I'm sure there would be more than willing people out there who'd be interested in having that stock rather than doing the work themselves.
And that's what my point was, is I bought a Tokyo Marui High Kappa Gold match. I think I paid like 160 or 170 bucks for it. And I bought that. Then I had to order a slide and an outer barrel to upgrade it. And then I was able to assemble it all myself. So I have, you know, a metal High Kappa. And yeah, it performs great because it's a Tokyo Marui internally. But I had to spend $100 on the slide to get that in, do all the work myself, and then put in the barrel, which I forget what I even paid for the barrel, but high kappa barrels can go anywhere from 50 to $100. So let's say I spent $150 total on upgrades for a $160 gun. I've paid $300 for this handgun. And I feel like that's an underserved market, is having, because, you know, now I've got a great performing, great looking high kappa, but why isn't there an option that's in that price range of, you would spend $300 or $400 to build this equivalently yourself, but now it's this kind of upgraded, really nice, really well-built, reinforced handgun for Airsoft.
Yeah.
I think Armor Works kind of thought they were stepping into that, but they're basically just WE with more quality control. So they didn't really push the envelope with materials or with design or anything like that. So they're still relatively cheaper. I think pretty much every Armor Works high kappa costs under $200. Yeah. But having the ability to buy something that's, $300 or $400 and is like the VFC Avalon of handguns, or the Crytek of handguns, where you take it out of the box, it's all good to go, you can use it with some pretty high-end gas or even CO2, and it's just gonna run for a long time, and everything's well reinforced. A 6061 aluminum slide, why isn't that standard to some degree? Really nice finishing, really realistic build, good fit. I think that I would pay, personally, but again, I'm very serious about the game, I would pay about $300 or $400 for that.
I think part of what causes that is that most of the market, except for people who specifically, they specialized in it, most of the airsofting market is aimed, it's aimed towards the people who think that a pistol is your secondary.
Yes.
So that's why there are so many pistols in that $89 to $139 range, is because to most people it's their afterthought. Most people are thinking, well, I want to put that rifle, or I want to put it into my rifle. I want, better hop up and barrel, optic, that sort of thing. However, I think that as time goes on, we're
seeing a shift.
Yes, I think that now that Speed QB is getting so much more popular, and their tournaments are doing really good with attendance and just general attention that they're bringing to it. Hopefully, we'll see this more in the future. Hopefully, we could have a better version of Armor Works, which is more TM spec, and hopefully, like Eric said, pushing the boundaries of what materials you could use. Because I'm sure as Speedsoft grows, there would be more than willing people to go out there and spend $300 to $400 on a pretty well-made, already built gun, rather than going to, the custom shops that are making $500 high kappas today.
Well, and the other thing we've seen is that we're already seeing this kind of push, because I think Cybergun kind of started trying to go in this direction when they released their FNX. That was $225 at release. Problem is, the FNX wasn't a $225 quality of gun.
Yeah.
It's a decent gun, but number one, there's no parts support, which I'm still salty about. Number two, it had some design flaws and issues that made it, not a great gun for $225. But now we're seeing the EMG handguns. I think what's the SAI Blue cost from EMG? I want to say it's $180.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and that's a really, I've not used one, I've heard good things. Then you've got the, Glock Elite series from Umarex that's going to retail for $200 or $220.
I think it's $220 for the upper tier Glock.
But those are all supposed to be reinforced and take CO2 and actually be able to handle CO2 very well. So I think we're starting to see that incrementally creep upward. And I think that a large part of that is, Speedsoft obviously is one thing, but I also think that people who are really serious about milsim or their gameplay in general, the type of people who will spend money on, say, Umbrella Armory, on building an HPA gun, on a PTW, they haven't really had an option for handguns, for something that matches that level of realism and performance. Handguns are largely a secondary to the degree they are, because a lot of them don't shoot that well until you drop several $100s into a custom Tokyo Marui build.
On top of that, Joe in our group is a perfect example. He uses his sidearm a lot more than, say, me.
Because he's a sniper, and he uses a marksman rifle.
Yeah, he has a DMR rifle set up, so his pistol is it gets used more often than, say, mine, because I usually run short barrel rifles and things like that. So my pistol, we both bought ours at the same time.
Yep.
My pistol is still in pretty good shape. It's obviously got holster wear, but it still shoots well. His is absolutely beat.
Yeah.
His needs a total internal overhaul. I think he's actually looking at just getting rid of it and just buying a whole new one. And that's one thing to do, but another thing that I would be looking for in a $200+ handgun is additional features that I'm not getting with a sub $200 handgun. My P320. the specific model that I have, I believe it's the compact carry.
Yeah.
So I have the slightly shorter grip with the 15 round magazines instead of the 17 or 18 that the full size comes with. But I have a threaded barrel. I have suppressor height sights. It comes with a thread protector, and they have tritium in the sights. So I can buy that. I can go conceal carry with it. I can run a suppressor on it. I just have to, obviously do the tack stamp and everything for a suppressor. So I can just immediately go out and shoot that. I don't have to buy a new barrel. I don't have to buy adapters or anything like that. And then if I want to shoot at night or if I feel comfortable conceal carrying it at night, the night sights are going to be a huge help.
So you would be looking for that range of versatility for a high-end handgun.
Yeah, I'm looking for additional features like
real night sights.
I don't mind paying $150 for a pistol. I've got, back when KWA was really well known for their USP, I had one of the NS1 USPs, and it's a $150 pistol at the time, but the trademarks are really nice. The slide quality's still pretty good. I mean, it's still got wear on it.
But think of if that had cost $300.
Yeah.
What could you do with that extra money?
Now, I understand why this hasn't happened. The airsoft market, as Lane said, largely treat handguns as secondaries. And also, they have trouble selling rifles that are over $300.
Yeah.
Like, I think you mentioned that you were talking with one of the guys from Elite Force, and I've had the same conversation with them, actually, is they have trouble selling anything that costs over, like, $400.
Yeah, and there's guns that companies could have the license to, like... some HK rifles, like the specific example I was given, and this was about 2 years ago, was the MG4. There's a lot of
a belt fed like that.
There's a lot of people who want that, and I think that would be a great addition to the Elite Force lineup. That's a $600 gun more than likely. But how do you sell a $600 LMG to someone? And while it would be better and it would have better quality, when the $200 to $300 ones are available, it's going to be very hard to sell that. Now, going forward with better pistols, to kind of get back on topic, I would like to see some that aren't licensed, because that is always going to add money to any product, whether it is Glock, Salient Arms, H&K, whoever it may be. That's going to tack on more money because they want their dues. But we were talking about this yesterday. I would love to see a very highly upgraded and a very well-made KWC 1911 design, like they make the Elite Force 1911 TAC and then make their own model. But if you made that with better materials, a better slide, a better
hop up,
better hop up, everything,
better frame.
I mean that design already is built like a tank, and it just keeps on chugging no matter what you throw at it.
And I know there's a lot of people who hate the KWC 1911. I'm sorry, I've had good luck with it. Lane's had good luck with it. Garrett's had good luck with it.
But imagine, but for those of you who don't like it and say that it's inaccurate or this or that, imagine what that design could be with better materials that you would get from that $300 price range. For those people who are really serious about airsoft, or they like to use it as their primary, imagine what you could get out of that.
So. Yeah, I think that's about all we have to say.
That's pretty much everything.
Basically, this is just an exploratory video, kind of a mental exercise of what could be accomplished and what would that max price range be. What would be the max price you would ever pay for an airsoft handgun?
It depends on the features.
Truthfully, it does depend on the features. It depends on what it could come with, because if I could get a gun that was if I could get a Elite Force G17 with the Atom slide from PTS already installed to have that out of the box RMR or T1 compatibility, I'd pay more. But for a gun where the features are limited to, let's say, better sights and a threaded barrel, $299.95 is probably the most I'd ever pay. So $300. After that, it'd be hard to justify, because I myself use it as a secondary, and if my pistol or if my secondary starts to cost as much as my rifle, I personally have concern. But if you can justify spending more, go for it.
For me, I was going to say, for me, I'd like a complete package. If I'm going to pay $300 for a pistol, give me a second mag.
Yeah.
They're already...
They're pretty standard for real handguns.
Yeah, they're about the same price too. I know the Elite Force Glocks are in the $45 range.
$49.95.
Yeah. Having a second mag, for me, I like to have 3 mags for my pistols.
Yeah.
Because I carry 2 with me, and then I have 1 as a backup in case one of those goes south someplace. So if I had 2 out of the box, I don't have to run out and buy that second mag, because some people could be out of stock of the mags.
Yeah.
Some people may have the mags but not have the gun. But if it's all in one complete package, like even real guns, my P320 came with 2 mags. Glocks come with 3 out of the box.
Yeah, and plus, not even for expensive pistols. Like, if you are one of those companies that likes to advertise your pistol as more beginner friendly, that just makes your pistol more beginner friendly that they have the ability to have a backup mag. So, you know, like the...
But then you actually have to add to the price to justify having the second mag in, and then airsofters freak out because, oh, this gun doesn't cost $120 anymore, now it costs $130 or $140.
Again, for like the Elite Force 1911 TAC, which is the KWC, it's a $120 pistol. If you could throw in a mag, which I think retails for $25, and make it, you know...
$140.
Yeah,
so
make it $140.
$5.
That's still in a price range that a lot of people will be willing to spend, and they have the versatility of having a second mag. But
anyway, circling back around, if it came with an extra mag, just with a basic one, $300. I think that's relatively straightforward. When you, again, I'm looking for features. One-piece threaded barrel instead of having those threaded insert things. One-piece threaded barrel. If it's cut for an optic,
RMR cut.
Like if it, like looking at Elite Force and the Glocks, maybe not necessarily going with something like the Atom,
the MOS series.
But if it had something similar to the MOS, I'd be willing to pay $400 for something like that.
Now that's interesting because Elite Force said that they want to build every model of Glock that exists.
I bet an MOS series will be coming.
So when the MOS, I'd imagine that would probably be higher on their list. That would be interesting to see how much that would end up costing eventually.
Personally, I would pay, I'm with Garrett, if it came with like an extra mag and all the other features, I would have paid like $400 for a good FNX. Because I love the FNX 45 design, I love the FNX 45 handgun. You know, I've shot the real one a couple of times and I really like it. But the problem is the Airsoft one right now, I can't get parts for it. The mags are just a really bad design with the way the base plate is on. And the fact is, it's just not that durable, you know, for what I like to have for a gun. I would have paid $400 for
the durability.
The
durability does not justify the price. I got mine on sale, and even I got mine below $200.
Yeah.
And even then, I was like, oh yeah, I can see, because I got it after watching your review. After I got it, I was like, okay, yeah, I can see why this definitely doesn't really justify what the price is.
So if it was built better, and if it was a better gun, I would have paid, you know, I would gladly pay for the feature set of the FNX, even if it was a different platform like a Glock or a SIG or whatever. I would personally pay up to like $400 for a full-featured, extra mag included gun. Let's say like $350 if it didn't include a mag. I would pay that.
Yeah.
But I guess those are our thoughts on the subject.
About everything.
I think we hit everything we wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
For those of you who are a little bit newer to the game, because we've all been playing forever. If you're a little bit newer to the game, how much would you be willing to spend on an airsoft pistol? I definitely love to see what other people are thinking.
Oh yeah, this is meant to be a discussion starter. I mean, absolutely throw your thoughts in the comments. You know, love us, hate us, agree with us, disagree with us. Be sure to throw everything in the comments that you want to talk about, because I think that this is a subject that deserves talking to, because maybe the industry will listen. Anyways, I hope this video was entertaining and maybe sparked some thoughts that you might have. Like I said, put them down in the comments, but for now, I've been E-House.
This is Lane from the BB Warrior.
And I'm Garrett from Gun Gamers.
And be sure to check out the BB Warriors channel. I will put a link in the description below. And make sure that you check out our TeeSpring for a dope shirt much like this one. But until next time, this is E-House and friends, maybe? I don't know. You guys are weird.
I was taken here not by my choice, if you remember from the beginning of the video.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we forced you to pay for money.
I paid for
I'm doing the sign out. You guys are messing me up. Yeah, there we go. Signing off. Thank you for watching this video from Gun Gamers. We hope you enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed making it. If you want to see more content from us, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to help support the channel, be sure to click the link below to buy a patch. Praise Judy.